What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's edition of Dream Firm Spotlight. My name is Tyler S. Clark. Welcome back for those who have gone through our technical hiccup. And we are here to discuss with you the 7 ways that entrepreneurial accountants can make $10,000 a month. Imagine sort of a pyramid, and at the top of the pyramid is usually going to be the most profitable, the most exciting things, but sometimes it's a little lonely at the top, and there can be some perilous aspects to it. And at the top of the 7 layers of the pyramid is number 1 is if you pick up, or when you pick up, a true fractional CFO engagement, you should be in the ballpark of $10,000 a month or more. Now, the reason I use the 10K per month threshold is because when you think about what a CFO is truly doing on a regular basis and how much companies are spending, old school, maybe a couple of years ago, 10 years ago, before inflation went out of control, you could probably sniff a CFO for like slightly north of 120, 150. Today, you're not sniffing one for less than 200, 220, 250 plus benefits. And so when you think about, my value proposition in that fractional CFO role, if you're doing 10 to 20 hours a week, you're going to be anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 plus per year just to be in line with what it would normally be. However, the reason that the top of the pyramid is a little bit precarious is that one of the things that happens is when people have those fractional CFO clients, they feel like they end up having not one boss, not 2 bosses, sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 separate bosses, as opposed to feeling like they're truly empowered and have a delegatable leveraged service model. So while that is a very attractive and lucrative position to be in, and you can quickly get to that 10K per month with just one real high value, properly priced engagement, there is some serious drawbacks that I don't think quite enough people are discussing. But that is the first way to be able to add $10,000 a month to your firm. The second way to do it, it requires a significantly more robust marketing engine in order to be able to do successfully, unless you have a really large existing tax organization and a lot of high net worth clients. But when you're selling tax plans on a monthly basis and you're having a minimum price of $5,000 per tax plan, you only need 2 tax plans per month to be able to get to 10K per month for your firm. Now, the reason I reference a robust marketing engine is because after you tap your client base for tax plans and you're expecting and you're used to that income, because they tend to be a little bit more on the one and done side, they're not as recurring. I know there are ways to structure it to make it more recurring, but generally speaking, you're going to get that big bump. You're going to have more of a maintenance plan. It's not always going to be that same level of investment year over year for tax plans. I know some companies try to do that. I don't see them doing it very successfully, generally speaking, because clients are usually like, but I just paid for this last year. Not that much has changed. Why do we need to spend the same amount again? Point being is, in order to get 2 a month at that 5K minimum, you're probably going to need anywhere from 5 to 10 leads per month in order for you to reach that threshold. And most accounting firms are not speaking to double-digit leads per month without a very robust marketing system. There's a lot of ways to accomplish that. You can be plugged into a bunch of different financial planners. You can obviously have a lot of different marketing systems from social media and content production, and you can be able to do a lot of different internet marketing strategies, whether it's paid advertising or outbound DMs. There's so many things that allow you to be able to open up that pipeline. But if you don't have it, it's very hard to be able to do that. Number 3 is arguably my favorite strategy, and this is definitely more for legacy service providers. In other words, you've got a large book of business, and that book of business has not been properly monetized. And the lowest hanging fruit that is by far the best, this is how people win the 100K Club Award like super fast, is like if you have 200 to 500K and up in business, and right, caveat, and you have a large tax practice that includes one-off business tax returns that do not have monthly services included with that. In other words, they just come to you for your year-end tax return services and they're a business owner. Oh my goodness. You can pick up an extra 10K a month easily by requiring, in other words, no longer having it be optional to take you up on your monthly write-up services. And so you simply run what we refer to as a client ascension campaign, but it's just a fancy way of saying, like, contact your existing clients, let them know that, hey, and this is a great time of year to do it, hey, if you would like us to do this service, this is the last year we're going to be doing it like this. And if you're willing, or if you'd like, we're going to roll out a whole bunch of services to help make your life better, right? Our monthly write-up, you may do payroll, you may do some sort of bill pay, you may even bundle in some form of advisory into this conversation. There's always some form of advisory. It's not do you do advisory, it's how much do you offer. It's just a spectrum, right? It's just like, where are you on that spectrum? Neither here nor there. Point is, that is literally finding money. And what's great about it is you also end up cutting out all of the more price sensitive business clients that were like running hobby shops, not even hobby shop. There's like hobbies, and they have this like little side income, and they kind of like make you do the books real quick at the end of the year, and they fight you over the pricing, and all of those people go away, and all the people who really deserve to be with you and now pay you more and pay you more consistently throughout the year, you've given them a reason to do that. And the key here is one of my favorite expressions, which is up or out, right? So you either go up in the relationship. In other words, we upgrade in pricing, we upgrade in service, we get closer to your dream destination faster together, or you got to hit the road, right? You got to get out. So that's the third way to do that. And honestly, one of my favorite ways to do that. Another way that I love to do, and this is applicable to everyone, okay, so this is the fourth opportunity here, is when you go down, it's like you want to make the base of the pyramid much larger. You want way more people to be aware of you. And so one of the easiest ways to pick up $10,000 a month in new business for an accounting firm is literally to just make everyone aware in your network that you are able and willing to help them. I promise you, it is that simple to just like tap every person digitally on the shoulder, send them some DMs, send them some emails. You need a crazy concept. You can pick up your phone and call them too. You can say, hey, haven't talked to you in a while. By the way, there's I don't know if you've seen the headlines. There's a shortage of great accountants out there right now. And I actually have capacity to help people out. Do you or anyone you know need some help? That is effectively our Practice Igniter challenge, right? Like that's the low-hanging fruit lead gen system, is just make them aware. We give you a whole bunch of scripts. You may not even need the scripts. You can probably just do it yourself. Just say, hey, what's up? I do these things. Would you like some help? Here's a link to talk. That's simple. That's how you pick up a bunch of low-hanging fruit. Number 5, okay? So this is a little bit more advanced, okay, to be fair, but I routinely have what I'll just call like polite poachers who reach out to me. I love you guys. You're cool. I know what you're up to. I kind of see your whole like game plan and like what you're doing. And when I say a polite poacher, they are the financial planners that have the right intentions, but maybe not necessarily align the way that we want them to. And so if you want to add a very lucrative aspect to your book of business, you can partner with a financial planning firm if you have a big book of business, or you can cross-sell financial planning services because you took the time to get your Series 6, 66, 7, life and health, right? Like you went through that process. And what's crazy is I'll talk to a lot of firm owners who have these designations. They have them. And they put all this time and energy into getting these certifications. Sometimes it's tax planning certifications. Sometimes it's financial planning, life insurance. And I go, oh, cool. What do you have AUM? What do you have assets under management? Like how many life insurance plans have we sold? Like where are we with this? I go, oh, I haven't really pushed it. I haven't really done anything with it yet. Or they're like, I have these relationships with these financial planners and I give them all this business. I go, do they pay you? And they're like, well, I don't really like talk like that. I'm like, there's money that they're making plenty of money to be able to share that with you. And yes, I know there's disclosures, and yes, you want to disclose that to the client, and that's completely fine. It's normal to do that. Or you can have some sort of consulting fees. I don't like the F word. You can have an hourly consulting price that comes along with when they work with the financial planner, because you have to integrate that with your accounting or tax system. So that you just need to think creatively about that auxiliary service to be able to provide that financial planning integration that ultimately makes your service more valuable to your dream client. And how do you get paid on it? Either you got the certs yourself and you got to be able to put together the packages and offers that drive it, or you got to find the relationships that are willing to pay you in exchange for the relationships that you've worked so incredibly hard to develop. Okay, number 6. Okay, this one's going to sound crazy. Okay, this one's going to sound really nutty, but The sixth way to add $10,000 a month to your business is to reach out to people who don't know you. Okay. So when I say reach out to people who don't know you, there are good ways to do this and there are bad ways to do this. The good ways to do it are you pick a dedicated target market because you don't want to work with everybody. You want to work with specific people, your dream clients, because your dream firm is made up of your dream clients and your dream team. If you don't define your dream clients, you have a firm you happen to have, and you usually don't like that firm. And that starts with client selection. And so when you're reaching out to people you don't know, you have to always put yourself in their shoes. And I'm going to give you guys some good tips on how this works. When you reach out to people you don't know, you have to go, okay, do I look based on my digital online presence like the person that they would like to work with? Okay, so if you've got a headshot from 1990, no offense, it's a great headshot, and they can see like, the photo's aged, right? It's got that old timey film on it. They're like, that's not really you. If you're reaching out and you're just like, I do accounting, and you're not asking a question, you're not engaging with them, you're not showing some personalization that you're interested in them, you're not showing that you're niche specific, there's nothing that shows those things, they're going to just kind of put you into that category of not really for me, not what I'm looking for, not interested. And what's crazy is this is not a hard thing to do. It's not hard to just be like, do I look the part? And would someone that I'm targeting want to engage with me? And if the answers are anything close to, like not entirely sure, work on the things that are creating that perception of belief, and just be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Okay. Like if you're working with contractors and tradespeople, you're probably going to dress like me right now, right? Like you're going to have a t-shirt, you might have a blazer, you still want to look professional. But if you're working with lawyers, you're probably going to do the button down, right? You're going to have the tie, you're going to look a certain way, and you're going to make sure you use legal terms. You're going to make sure that you promote potentially a review from a legal client or a law firm that you have as a client and say, these people love me. And then they see that and go, well, I want to have that relationship. I want to feel like my accountant, like that law firm does about their accountant that way. I don't feel that way at all. And now, boom, you have the opportunity. And so literally, there's a rule of 100. And this is like a very simple rule to follow, which is 100 outbound direct messages per day. You will get a lot of opportunities. Okay. And that sounds like a lot, but you go, okay, I got LinkedIn, I got Facebook, I got Instagram, you can even do Pinterest, you can do X or Twitter. You have all, and if you do 20 on each of those, that's 5. You don't need that many people to be interested in order to get to 10K a month, right? It's not that much in terms of new sales. So that's the sixth way to be able to add 10K per month to your firm. And the seventh and final way to be able to add $10,000 per month to your firm is through a basic service proposition. And this is the broadest part of the pyramid. And I know some people are going to be like, what? Why would people do that? Why would people sell that? Tax filing services. And the reason it's the broadest part of the pyramid, and the reason I saved it for last, is when you are thinking about the market at large, okay? H&R Block, right? TurboTax, these are billion-dollar organizations and or products. These are things that are incredibly powerful because they service an incredibly wide portion of the market. And what's crazy to me, mostly, I mean, I understand the logic of it because I help consult people with it and walk through like, what does their dream firm look like? Many firms who are transitioning to only a monthly recurring revenue model that hate the chaos of tax season, they're doing one of two things, okay? Or one of three things, excuse me. They're either setting their hair on fire every tax season because they hate their life, because they want to get away from it so badly, but they feel like they can't. And then they slowly start to get more monthly recurring revenue work. And they go, oh, wait a minute, this is possible. Like I should do something else. And then they're left with the other two options. Option 2 is they go, I'm just going to release these people back into the wild. I'm just going to send them a disengagement letter. I don't care if I've seen people literally disengage, and I'm not even joking, from $200,000 of tax work because they're just like, Tyler, I don't even want to take the time. I know I could sell it. I appreciate you telling me I'm leaving $200,000 on the table, but I don't even want to do it. I don't want to facilitate the transition. I just want to literally go like this and wipe my hands clean of the whole thing. And I'm like, as long as you understand you're walking away from what could be basically a free $200,000 or even $100K, and you're just like, I want no retention. I'm just going to pass you the book of business. As long as you understand that, cool. And they're like, I get it. I don't even want, it's not even worth it because I know that these other aspects of the pyramid, these are the things that I want. These are dream firm. This is no longer what I want anymore. It was great. So when people are like literally releasing them into the wild, sometimes all you got to do is talk to these. You literally, like when I say like reach out and talk to people, like the layer up, and I'm like, just like reach out. Sometimes the reach out isn't directly to the end buyer. It is to the people who are like at their wits end with certain aspects of their business. And the old saying, you know, one person's trash is another person's treasure. Go find the people who are throwing out their books of business, and you can come in and you can scoop up and you can grab it. And literally like you just say, I picked up $120,000 tax level of taxes. Yeah, I mean, it's not 120 spread out per month, but we're pretty good with cash flow and math. It's still 10K per month. And if you want to split it out so that you're literally actually working to go and get more leads directly related to tax services, you can make a killing on Thumbtack throughout the year. And Bark, like, you got to spend some money, but the good news is these people are usually coming back to you year over year when you're delivering good work, you're delivering at a good price. Tax returns have been the bread and butter of the accounting and tax space for decades. And again, there are still billion-dollar industries where it is still the bread and butter. Hasn't gone anywhere yet. I don't see anything that suggests it's going anywhere. If anything, the opportunity is better than it's ever been because everyone who used to do it is tired of doing it and they want to go and do something else, which is great. I love that. I encourage people to do it. But for those of you who are looking at like, how do I have the biggest slice of the pie? Like, how do I help the most number of people? It's tax return services. That's what it is. And if you want to take it one step further, there are even additional kind of like upsells and cross sells, because what's cool about tax filing is there's so many little like niche pockets to it. I have clients that sell tax return services for $5,000. Their starting price is $5,000 for a tax return. And that like blows people's minds, but it's because they do very niche specific tax filing services that are dramatically underserved, and they need to do essentially zero marketing to pick up $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 plus tax returns, which is like crazy to a lot of people. And I still tell them that they're underpriced because almost nobody says no to them because they have nowhere else to go. So there are so many opportunities in this space. And just to close this out, I think it's easy when you kind of like look at the pyramid, you get that O word, you're like, this is over. I can't even say it out loud. I hate that word so much. But you look at it and you're like, oh man, rather than look at it and be like, I can do all of these things. You can't do all of them. I promise you, you can't do all of them. Just pick one of the categories and be like, that's the thing I'm going to do between now and the end of the quarter, or the end of the month. And I'm going to push that really hard. And I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to contact a bunch of CPAs, see if they're offloading some clients, or if they can't take anyone, if they're willing to refer me. I'm going to contact all my niche people in the space. I'm going to make my online presence look awesome. I'm going to do 100 DMs per day. I'm going to see how that works. I'm going to really work that financial planning angle. I have the certs. I'm going to cross sell. I'm going to upsell. I'm going to actually make the financial planning relationships pay me some form of money so that we can actually really work those relationships and create a higher level of outcome. I'm going to go and make sure I have that robust marketing engine so I can sell those tax plans. I'm going to make sure that the fractional CFO work that I do get is priced in accordance with the level of work that is required, on top of the fact that it is a benefit that they don't have to go and spend $250 plus to be able to get a similar level of result. And when you think about it, you're really only doing fractional CFO work at 10 to 50 million range. And no one is paying a full-time CFO, generally speaking, in that range, right? So they're all looking for fractional stuff. And so the market's actually quite large for that. You just got to know how to target them and how to get in front of them. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate everyone who hung out with me during our technical issue a bit earlier. You guys are the absolute best. And if you enjoy this, please subscribe, click the like button, drop a comment if you think there's another way that I missed to be able to add $10,000 a month to your accounting firm. And please, 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 always, always remember that only you can create your dream firm, but we are here to help you every single step of the way. Have a fantastic rest of your workday, and I will see you all on the inside of the Create Your Dream Firm program, hopefully in the not so distant future.